Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
Now Dr. Vishwanath Karad is going to speak on transforming the Pilgrim Centers of India into Divine Knowledge Centers of India. Please, sir.
Once again, I would put it on record, hearty congratulations to Mr. Karthikeyan and the very esteemed friend, Mr. Yugandhar, for organizing this very unique event of the First World Parliament on Spirituality. I am certainly reminded of, once again I say, the first Parliament of Religions held on 11 September 1893. Fortunate enough that I have been a great follower of Swami Vivekananda, the great noble son of India, Mother India, who had spoken then. I had said in the morning too, I repeat again, that his words of wisdom, which have been engraved in the minds of many people world over, he had said that time, friends, remember, he used the words brothers and sisters of America and the friends world over. He said, union of science and religion, oblique spirituality alone will help to bring harmony and peace to the mankind. I repeat, union of science and religion, oblique spirituality alone will bring harmony and peace to mankind. Friends, it's a reminder. Fortunate enough for myself, it was in the year 1996, on the 700th anniversary of Sanjeevan Samadhi of philosopher Saint Naneshwara of India, who lived in this part 720 years back, 716 years back. Unfortunate enough, this great philosopher sent, while writing a commentary on Gita, so-called religious book of India, Hinduism, but it's not a religious book at all. Yugandhar, you know it very well. I have known you for quite some time. And when I see Patriji Maharaj sitting opposite to me with Karthikeyan, it is reminding me that the very wonderful words were written by the philosopher Saint Naneshwara. He said, in Marathi he has said, Om Namoji Adya Veda Pratipadya Jaya Jaya Swasamvedya Atmarupa. Only 2 lines. He is writing a commentary on Gita, the religious book otherwise said to be. But he says, I am writing this scripture to understand the ultimate reality, the ultimate truth of the universe. See the beauty. And then gives an answer. He says, as stated in the Vedic literature of India, which has been as old as you can think of, the world or the entire universe is a manifestation of pure intelligence and pure consciousness. The spiritual component which you are talking about has been very aptly narrated, very briefly narrated in that 2 lines. Friends, I am tell you that being a professor of mechanical engineering and particle physics, when we are in the mind-boggling developments of science and technology world over, with the smallest instrument every one of us carrying in your pocket, that small mobile I'm talking about. When you talk of particle physics, artificial intelligence, electronics, computer, IT and whatnot, it's nothing but a proof of what the world stands for. The philosopher Saint Naneshwara has said that time that the entire universe is a manifestation of pure consciousness and pure intelligence and fully spiritual. It's a full of knowledge divine. See the beauty. I am not telling because he is an Indian. He is from Maharashtra or he is from some part of this country. Friends, remember, These great saints and sages of the world, including the Saint Francis of Assisi, Rome, they have no caste, they have no creed. They are the greatest human beings on this Mother Earth. The men with the vision and understanding and that spiritual power which they possess. And exactly the same words were uttered by Dr. Albert Einstein when he gave the equation to the world, E equal to mc square. Those who are not from science may blame me something, but let me tell you friends, one of the finest equations which this greatest saint of the world has is what is called as E, the energy is equal to mc square, K times mc square. M is the mass, C is the speed of light, and E is the energy. Energy, the invisible energy which binds us together. The entire universe goes on for millions and millions of years. There is an invisible force or energy which pervades, which prevails, which manifests this universe. This is a proof, scientific proof. I am not telling anything of my own. And exactly the same words were uttered by the Swami Vivekananda. Sant Jnaneshwara uttered the same words, and what a beauty this Einstein, when he says, "Oh God," at the end of his life he is saying this. Remember this. He says, "Oh God, now I realize that the entire universe is a manifestation of pure intelligence and pure consciousness." Exactly the same words. This is in the form of a scripture, a poetic form of Sanskrit language or a Marathi language, but Einstein gives the very similar, exact verbatim, the same words of wisdom. I am not trying to tell you something very unique, but studying this from 1996 specifically, when I had the fortune of organizing the first Parliament of Science, Religion, Spirituality and Philosophy. 1996. Being an engineer, possibly I was very crazy to know how come in the list of the Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, Kant, Hegel, Spinoza, there is not a single name from my mother India. Not to be proud of, but that was the quest. And friends, remember this very journey which Yugandhar has taken is a very right and appropriate journey in the 21st century especially. About the spiritual component, many of my friends have tried to define. There is nothing like definitions. The universe itself is knowledgeable. It's a knowledge divine. It's certainly spiritual. It is certainly conscious. It is certainly intelligent. That word is very important. It is intelligent, remember friends. Each and every particle. Now the molecular computers are coming. You just click your mobile, communicate with the whole world. Networking of minds and networking of particles. Bharat Ratna Abdul Kalam has stated many times that friends, a time has come when we have to network our hearts and minds. And this journey of spiritual component, the World Parliament, a very unique word, speaks a lot that in the present scenario, when we have the highest mind-boggling developments in the field of science and technology, richest of the rich, the five-star culture everywhere, maybe. But on the other hand, the worst, horrifying, bloodshed, massacre, terrorism, and whatnot. Many a number of cults and the sects of religions are fighting against each other. It's a truth. What a horrifying event which took place in America just a day before. A person getting into the class and killing out 28 innocent children. He was an educated person himself. And we have been having a great failure, Yugandhar, that in education system, what about if we understand about spiritual component, what is the next step? What way to improve and what way to improve ourselves is a major issue. I am sure that you are very intelligent, capable people, great scholars, thinkers, philosophers, scientists, men of religion, men of spirituality sitting in front of me. They have devoted their life for the cause of human welfare, the well-being of the mankind. That is a passion. Otherwise, my brothers and sisters from various countries would not have come here. But Mother India, let me tell you again, not with an ego, but I would like to tell you, friends, this is that soil. The holy soil, maybe 10,000 years back, all the great saints, sages, seers, and the scientists of the world They have devoted their entire life for some cause. And they are trying to give a message, whether it is a person or a Hindu or a Christian or a Buddhist or any other religion. Let me tell you, friends, we have to understand the very essence and philosophy of all world religions. Religion word, let us not confuse. Religion is not like Hinduism, what I'm talking about. Religion is nothing but to perform your duty, my duty or your duty. The performing the duty is the only religion. And this has been defined by Swami Vivekananda again in 1897, 1893. This is the right definition of what religion stands for. It's not only the rituals or the performing the various festivals is not the only aim. That may be for the little innocent people, but the people like you and me, who have a duty to guide the society, to guide the new generation. And you know it, friends, that what we are facing world over. Maybe on the sides of this, I have stated one sentence where I said, transforming the pilgrim centers of the world, not India alone. You can remember what I said. Possibly it is wrongly printed. I say that now a time has come when the university people, the college people, the vice chancellors, I think I can see a few vice chancellors sitting opposite to me, Mr. S.N. Pathan, who has been a person who is presently the vice chairman of the Indian Council of Cultural Relations, chancellor. So many. Why I'm saying this? We have a duty. Using this definition, understanding what the World Parliament of Spirituality stands for. What next? We have to inculcate these components in the field of education, basically. Whether it is engineering, medical, management, arts, science, or commerce, our time has come that we have to remove the confusion, the feeling of many of us like me. I am also a teacher. For 40 years, I have been trying to teach in engineering, trying to understand particle physics. Let me tell you, friends, that I have been trying to say that use those words, science and spiritual component. How to inculcate and what way to do is a major issue. Because we are confused. Let me tell you honestly, if I want to include some of these components in my college itself, we have 4 engineering colleges, medical, management, so many institutions, all universities, but we have a confusion. And you know that all these places, the universities or colleges, are information centers, data collection centers. We collect the data, we collect the information as a teacher, as a professor myself, and then try to disseminate to the students' community. But what is a pilgrim center? How can a pilgrim center be created? I should not take a name, but the richest of the rich, you say Bill Gates or Ambani or Tata or the Birlas from India or Fords, the billions of dollars, if they build a beautiful palace on the banks of Ganga river or a Godavari river or any other river world over, that doesn't become a pilgrim center, gentlemen. It's called as a beautiful palace. To be a pilgrim center, remember you have to have a greatest saint or a sage who needs to be born there. A man with a vision, a man with a knowledge divine, possessing knowledge divine, understanding of the whole universe and communicating with the universe. Let me tell you, the philosopher Saint Tukaram said, he says, Anu Renu Thokada, or Tuka Akasha Evda. Sorry to say it is in Marathi, but I'll tell you what he says. He writes this before 400 years back, not educated. He says, I am the smallest of the smallest of the small particle of the universe, a molecule, atom, proton or neutron or subatomic particle. Such particle, but what particle? That smallest of the small particle can encompass the entire universe. It's nothing of my own. Whatever little I have read and understood, I am trying to put it before you, friends. Educate or train you, but I want to convey my feelings of whatever little I have understood of science and technology. And this is the time when we will have to think very seriously, and that's why Dr. Raghunath Mashalkar, the chairman of the Science Congress of the World, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar, I don't know where he is sitting. You must listen to him tomorrow if possible. A Param supercomputer scientist one of the leading scientists of the world. Not because he's an Indian I'm talking about, but these are the people, Mr. Dr. Raghunath Mashalkar, who is also the chairman of the Science Congress of ours, he and myself discussing. He's not a believer like me. I'm a believer of God. I'm a believer of that energy. But Dr. Mashalkar said in 99, when we had the first Science Congress in Pune, the Indian Science Congress, when we had a discussion, and we said, are you not supposed to expected to understand the science and spiritual component of life? What is the duty of me and you as an engineer, as a director, as a dean, as a whatever designations you take? And that time it was said that what is a pilgrim center? It's a wonderful center of the knowledge divine. ज्ञान की पूजा होती है, knowledge की पूजा होती है. We have to worship the knowledge divine itself. And he said, now professor, remember pilgrim centers are knowledge centers basically. Centers. The purity of mind, purity of thought and purity in action. 3 words. What to develop the purity? How to develop the purity of mind and purity of thought and purity in action. That is the role of spiritual component of life. Minimizing the lust, greed, jealousy and hatred, and minimizing the disorder of mind. I think about that fellow who killed those children. It's a disordered personality is the description in the paper. I pity that how such disordered people, how such people are created through our education and what can be done. And Yugandhar, you have been trying to do that job through making the world understand the role of spirituality, the role of spiritual component, and possibly the role of science too. Thank you so much, friends. I have only one paper in my hand which I would like to... this is, of course, nothing new to you. Maybe some of you are knowing it. This is available. This is from America. At the corner, it is written, Om equal to E equal to MC square. I think in this hall, about Om itself, the meditation, yoga, pranayam, so many times it has been discussed. But see the beauty, friends, whatever Vivekananda said in 1897, he said, Mother India will emerge as a knowledge corridor of the whole world, not to be egoistic again. All my foreign friends, please forgive me, but this has been stated, and this is going to come true. That's the signature, that's a sign. Om equal to MC square is the equation coming up. Om equal to E equal to MC square, the Einstein's equation. Om is not a Hindu word, remember friends. Om is not a word which you call as a religious word. You must know, friends, in the world over, there are 6,912 languages spoken world over. How many? 6,000. It's nothing of mine. It's data available. In India alone, there are 1,800 languages spoken. Friends, remember, whatever you think, the thing is only one, but there are 6,000 words. Likewise, the invisible force or the energy which binds this universe, that invisible force or energy which you call God, which you call Ram or Rahim or Jesus or Buddha or Zoroastrian name, anyone. You have different names depending on different languages. But remember, for that invisible, there is only one name. It has to have only one name because the energy is one. One. There is no difference at all. Now, what is that word? And let me tell you, friends, Om is the only word which encompasses all the metrics of all the languages of the world. A, U, M. A, U, M. Pronounce yourself and you will find that there is no movement in the mouth. Your tongue doesn't move. The palate is there. You start rolling the air and end at the end. It is called as a universal word to denote that invisible. It is a universal word to denote that ultimate reality, the ultimate truth, the God, the Almighty. That's why Om is a symbol, like the E, the energy, to denote that ultimate reality, the ultimate truth. And that is the pathway which again is shown through spiritual component of life. Understanding this spiritual component, realization of the self. I think somebody said here about the self and realization and the God itself. But thank you, Yugandhar, you welcomed us with the wonderful musical tone. You know, it is said for music, I think that lady from New York, she also gave a wonderful, I am the soul. Wonderful. You know, this music is the music of the soul itself. The life itself, the mother nature itself is wonderful music itself. It's a wonderful tone. Those musical tones, there is one thing said by the people, the great people, the realization of the ultimate reality or the God is through music. And also realization of peace, the peace of mind, peace of the society is also possible through music. That's why I once again congratulate Yugandhar, but I'm really grateful that I could meet a number of people here. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot one thing. There is a quotation from Atharva Veda. Patri Maharaj, you must know and you have been knowing this. Karthikeyan Sahib, you must be knowing this. Let me tell you, this was sent to UNESCO Paris in 1998. We are the birds of the same nest. We may wear different skins. We may speak different tongues. We may believe in different religions. We may belong to different cultures. Yet we share the same home, the Mother Earth. Born on the same planet, covered by the same skies, gazing at the same stars, breathing the same air, we must learn to progress together or miserably perish together. For a person can live individually, but can only survive collectively. Atharva Veda. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.